Been a little more than a year now since two of the biggest superstars in Hollywood, Brad Pitt.
No immediate comment from Pitt's attorney when they were approached for comment.
Brad Pitt, a man who can walk into a room and instantly turn every head, men, women, even the dog, will stare.
Brad Pitt knew how to fight.
Yeah.
He was a bigger guy and he knew how to fight.
He's one of Hollywood's biggest stars, an Oscar winner, and a face that sold more magazine covers than anyone can count. But behind the charm, the jawline, and the perfect hair, Brad Pitt's journey was far from easy. So today, we're diving into the true story of how Brad went from a small-town boy in Missouri to a global movie icon. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and let's jump right into Brad's life before he became Brad Pitt. From a strict home to a dream no one expected, Brad Pitt's story begins in the quiet neighborhoods of Missouri, inside a house ruled by strict Baptist traditions. Born as William Bradley Pitt in 1963, he grew up in an environment where discipline controlled everything: church every Sunday, prayers before meals, and singing in the choir whether he wanted or not. His father was tough, sometimes extremely strict, and Brad later said the pressure pushed him away from religion entirely. But even inside that strict world, there was a spark inside him that refused to die. Brad joined sports teams, golf, tennis, swimming, but his true connection was on the stage. Theater became his escape. After high school, he chose journalism and advertising at the University of Missouri, but the dream of acting kept whispering in the back of his mind. Then came the moment that changed everything. Just 2 weeks before graduation, Brad made the boldest decision of his life. He dropped everything, packed his old car, and drove straight to Los Angeles. No degree, no money, no plan, just a dream and a willingness to struggle for it. In Hollywood, he officially became Brad Pitt, a name the world would learn to never forget. The brutal struggle, and the rise of a new star. Hollywood was harsh. Brad worked any job he could find, delivering strippers in a limo, moving furniture, and even standing on the street in a giant yellow chicken suit. All this while attending acting classes he could barely afford. Ironically, one of those random jobs introduced him to someone connected to acting coach Roy London, and that became Brad's first real doorway into the world he was chasing. He grabbed tiny TV roles, appeared in Dallas, 21 Jump Street, and commercials, including a now famous Pringles ad. His first major movie lead, The Dark Side of the Sun, got delayed 10 years due to a civil war. But he kept going. He acted in California, Cutting Class, and Too Young to Die. Then, in 1991, Brad appeared in Thelma Louise for just a few minutes, but those minutes were enough to change Hollywood's heartbeat. Brad instantly became the new symbol of charm. But he didn't want to stay trapped as just a handsome face. He wanted respect. He earned it with A River Runs Through It.
McLean's Conquer Shoots.
I don't
That's
like
show 'em.
sardines.
And you could get in a school paper, I bet.
Impressing Robert Redford and critics alike. He pushed further with True Romance, improvising brilliantly. But the real test was about to come: a movie that would almost break him. Pain, transformation, and the making of a legend. Interview with the Vampire 1994.
You really believe this, don't you, that you're a vampire?
We can't begin this way. Let me turn on the light.
Gave Brad a massive platform, but off camera, it was torture. He hung upside down to make his veins pop. He wore painful contact lenses and heavy wigs. He spent freezing nights in England filming scene after scene. The writer Anne Rice attacked the casting. Brad fell into depression and begged to quit, until he learned he'd owe $40 million if he left. He stayed, silently suffering, but the film became a classic, and even Anne Rice later praised his performance. Then came 1995, the year Brad Pitt transformed into a Hollywood powerhouse. 12 Monkeys earned him a Golden Globe and his first Oscar nomination. In C, 7 On,
You heard nothing strange. You saw nothing strange.
Brad ripped a tendon during a stunt, and the injury was added to the script. When the studio demanded a different ending, Brad stood firm and threatened to walk away if they changed it. Because of him, the film kept its shocking, legendary finale. But fame brought chaos. Paparazzi photographed him naked. He was attacked in Northern Ireland. He clashed with Harrison Ford on The Devil's Own.
And you'll have to kill to stop it. Gets a bit complicated, doesn't it?
and the movie still flopped. In 7 years in Tibet, Brad played a controversial role that led to China banning him for years. But even political bans couldn't stop his rise. Everything changed again in 1999 when Fight Club arrived.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club.
Brad trained like an athlete, chipped his own tooth, took soap-making classes, and even accepted real punches to make scenes raw and authentic. At first, the film failed, but over time, it became one of the greatest movies ever made. Even the book's author admitted the film was better than his novel. Brad Pitt was no longer just a star, he had become a modern cinematic icon. Love, fame, and a career that redefined Hollywood. As Brad entered the 2000s, his personal life became as famous as his films. He fell in love with Jennifer Aniston, and the two became America's golden couple. But behind all the attention, Brad continued shaping Hollywood in his own style, choosing difficult roles, challenging scripts, and characters that demanded everything from him. His journey from a strict religious home to standing on the peaks of global fame showed one truth clearly. Brad Pitt's story was never about luck, it was about patience, pain, hard work, and a refusal to let Hollywood define him as just a pretty face. He walked through depression on set, through injuries, through controversy, through scandals, and through years of struggle, and still rose to the top of the industry. Brad Pitt didn't just become a Hollywood legend, he built himself into one.